Going down, boys. We are live once again for another Moto Monday. Let's see who is in the chat. What up? What up? We got Big Brian, Tommy Shea, Nico. What up? What up? Monroe, Big Jamie. What is going down? Yeah, happy birthday, Big Feist. Jeremy, Chris. Yeah, definitely a little shout out to Big Feist. I don't think he'll be in here tonight, actually, though. So, he is actually, I was talking about it maybe last week. He was planning, or at least wanting to go to Ohio to go on a hunting trip with his cousin, and I believe he went. Well, I know he went. I was just actually talking to him because he doesn't get good reception out there, but if he's so they stay at a cabin. My cousin owns I don't know how many acres he has out there, but anyway, bought a chunk of land to go hunting, and he stayed at a cabin. At the cabin, they got no signal, so he basically, if he's in his deer blind, his phone works. So he basically waited till the sun went down, and he couldn't see no more, and then he called me. He's like, all right, I can't call you when I get back to the cabin, so I'm calling you now. But, yeah, shout out, a little birthday love to Big Feist. So he'll probably miss tonight because I don't think he has reception and stuff. So we'll catch him next week. We got Christian jumping in, Jesse. Well, what up? All right, hey, couple quick little announcements. A couple things that went down over the weekend. We had a really, really fun, good weekend. Got to do some riding once again at Midwest Extreme. Posted this cool little pic. This is from Brandon. I was just liking this look. Like, dude, the trees, like, not in focus, but then the dirt and the everything, and then you can see the falls kicking in here in the Midwest. So was out at Midwest Extreme Park. Brian was out there as well. Just a good fun day. Had some oops, what the heck, dude. Clicking on the wrong stuff. Had some privates during the week. Actually had a private out there as well, working with Jennifer, female rider, which has been cool. She's back in Florida now, but that was fun. We also, me and Brian went to the Chiefs game. First time ever. Mel went, so that was fun. Got a little picture here, the four of us. So this is Brian. So put a little face to the name because you guys see him or he's here every week. He's in here right now, right here. So him, this is his sister Connie. That's Mel, my wife. This is right here in Arrowhead Stadium. First time to a Chiefs game. And to be honest with you, my first time ever to a football game. I've never been to a professional football game. So it was actually really, really fun, dude. We had really good seats. We're basically on the first level. Could see really good. And place is just, I did some posts on if you've seen the story, but Arrowhead Stadium is known for one of the loudest stadiums in America. So, and they were doing the Tomahawk Chop, and it's fun. I enjoyed it, dude, and I'll probably look forward to going to some more games. And we won, dude. We beat the Packers, even though Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing. We still got the win, and we needed that. We need to get some momentum going. So hopefully, got some tough games coming up. So hopefully, we're able to get it together. But big shout out to Brian for the invite. That was definitely a good time. Another quick little announcement. The We Ride Dirt Bikes tee is up and available. I'm rocking one. Man, why is this looking so big, dude? There we go. Cut my face off. But I got one on right now. Woo, represent. And we got them we got the crew neck. So we got the crew neck as well. Oh, look, it's backwards. Boom. These came out super sick. So these are in stock. These are on the website right now. Crew neck and t-shirts. So if you guys are interested, just go to RonnieFeistMX.com. Oh, I jacked up the... I'm jacking everything up tonight, dude. Look at that. My whatchamacallit's all messed up. I don't even know how to fix that. All right, whatever. See this? Mel's watching Monday Night Football, so she ain't coming up here to fix it. But I messed up the graphics. Oh, here we go. Let me blow it back up. All right, whatever, dude. This stupid thing's messing with me. All right. This is Mel's job, dude. What the heck happened to this thing? All right, whatever. All right, so that is up on the site, RonnieFeistMX.com. Anybody's interested in the new product. Other than that, what else is cracking? Let's see here. We got hunter trip coming up. So I'm basically going to be leaving town here on Wednesday and going to be out of town to Sunday night. It's the rut. So there's big bucks who are going to be moving. So I'm going to be hunting out in Kansas Monday or Wednesday through Sunday. So looking forward to that. And just another quick reminder, we got the holiday break coming up. So basically we're doing tonight, we're doing next week, and then we're going to be off until January 3rd, the week before Anaheim won. So just keep you guys posted on that. Next week will be the last week, and we'll take a little break, spend some time with family and friends. And then we'll get back into it, and we'll be charging it again. Let's see, yeah, so head on there, give Big Feist a shout-out, but kind of already did that. But, yeah, it's Big Feist's birthday. Big Feist is 71 today, dude. Holding it down, right? Getting up there. Looking forward to hunting with him. So, basically, he is in Ohio. I'm doing Kansas, and then holidays kick in. We're going on holiday break. I'm going to be in Colorado Springs for Thanksgiving. And then I come home for a week. I'm going to try to hunt on the Missouri side. And then I go back to Jersey with Big Feist for shotgun season and hunt back in New Jersey. And then hopefully the entire family's coming out here for Christmas. My sister, mom, hopefully brother. Don't know if my brother will make it out, but Big Feist as well. As long as the vertigo doesn't jack him up too much, he'll be out here for the holidays. And then, dude, 2022 already. What the heck? This year went by way too quick. Oh, let's see. We got a few other people jumping in here. Got V Dubsky. What up? What up, Eric D? All right. So, hey, I figured I'd do something different tonight because we always kind of do the live Q&A. You guys ask me questions. How about I do 6 questions for you guys? Because this is our community, right? Look at the shirt. We ride dirt bikes. It doesn't say Ronnie rides dirt bikes. We ride dirt bikes. This is our online Moto Monday, Moto community, Moto family. We ride dirt bikes. So let me hit you with the questions, dude. I feel like you guys ask me questions all the time. I want to give 5 questions to you. Then we're gonna do a quick. I got 1 trick for you. Last week we did 2 tricks. We're gonna do 1 trick, and then we'll open it up at the end. We're gonna do saran wrap, candy bar into a saran wrap. So if you guys anybody know what they are, you guys remember, I'm going old school on you because that's what you got to do. You got to learn from the bottom and work your way up. All right, so I'm gonna start popping some questions, and everybody get in there. Everybody's in the chat right now. Try to pop it up, and I want to read all your guys' answers. Everybody, we got Rob Graham jumping in. All right, so first question. All right, first one, I've done this one a bunch, but everybody just throw it up. I think this is cool because I kind of like seeing this. Where are you guys from? Throw it up. And I love seeing how many people are connecting with us in this chat from just not only different spots here in the U.S., but we got people from all around the world. So hopefully things are able to pop up quick. Last thing I can see all right, so we got V Dubsky and San Antonio, Texas. We got Rob Graham, Albany, New York. So I don't know. Hopefully it's not too late. Brian from Lee Summit, local boy, Lee Summit, Missouri. Who else? So hopefully it's not too delayed. That's what I'm saying. All right, we got Jason from Pittsburgh, Florida. Or Petersburg, my bad. Pittsburgh, Florida. Petersburg. See, look, Chris P from Pittsburgh. Hey, look, I'm way ahead, bro. Green Bay, Jamie from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dude, we're all over the place. All right, so here's our Nico from Canada. Yeah, I remember Nico. I sent Nico some gear. He won Nico won something back in the day, right? Didn't you win a t-shirt or something, dude? I remember sending you some stuff. He was one of the winners on one of our giveaways. So holding it down out in Canada. We got Monroe from Mexico. Eric D from Grandview, another local boy. And we got Patrick from Michigan. So, dude, holding it down all over the U.S. Not only the U.S., but Mexico and Canada, which is super cool. And I know we get a lot of Australia. We get dudes on here from Australia. Who else we usually get in there? We got Ken G's usually in here from Australia. All right, so let's see. First question. And you guys, if anybody jumps in late and you want to pop up your thing, all good. You can jump in and answer the question at any time. So first question is where you from. So if you're jumping in, you want to throw up, represent your town, your city, go ahead. Won a t-shirt. Yep. He won a t-shirt. Nico won the t-shirt. I remember, dude. All right, first question. All right, here we go. Who was your biggest riding influence? So what person in moto influenced you the most? So let me hear that from our community. Who had the biggest impact on you to motivated you to get into moto? Because I'm gonna answer last. I'm still gonna throw my answer in too, but I want you guys to go. So jump in there. Biggest inspiration in motocross. What do you guys got? V-Dub. Kent. How do I say his name? Hooverton? Howerton? Hooverton. I don't know if I know him. He must be super old school. All right, well, shout out to Kent. Got V-Dubski. Metzger. So Nico saying, so that's Mike Metzger. So freestyle guy for Nico. Jamie saying FMX Ronnie Faisst. And for Moto, Ryan Dundee. Well, hey, man, appreciate that, Jamie. That's cool. Chris P says Deegan. So Brian Deegan. Nice. Jason saying, I'd say McGrath. There you go. That's a good one for sure. MC, dude, the king of Supercross. He says, so Eric D say never rode much, but grew up watching McGrath, Carmichael, and Pastrana. For sure. Like, you can still be inspired by motocross dudes, even if you ain't a rider. Because it's almost like me being inspired by, like, Michael Jordan or another athlete. I don't play basketball, but I can still look at athletes like Michael Jordan who are, you know what I mean, and be inspired by him. So it's all good. So I can see why, like, McGrath, Carmichael, Pastrana, just some of the greatest of all time. My brother-in-law Jake got me in the riding. So Brian saying brother-in-law Jake, super cool, family member, being an inspiration. Yeah, so that's another thing. Don't necessarily have to even be a pro. Sometimes it can be, which just to sneak this in, I was actually inspired by my uncle, my dad's youngest brother, my Uncle David. He had a dirt bike when I had a three-wheeler, and that's the whole reason why I wanted a dirt bike. Because I'm like, dude, Uncle Dave gets around the pit, jumps everything. Dad, I need a dirt bike. So in a sense, he was probably my first influence as well, was a family member before I started, watching moto, and then got inspired by the racers. So pretty cool. And then, so Brian's also, let me see, I don't want to skip anybody. So Brian, we got Chris here with Carmichael McGrath. We got Jeremy with Carmichael Deegan and Feist. That's cool, dude. And then Brian saying Stewart, Gary Jones. So Rob Grant saying Gary Jones, an old schooler, huh? Was super cool. All right, so for me, I'm going to say Ricky Johnson, obviously, because I was getting into moto in the 80s, and Rick Johnson was dominating. So obviously, Ricky Johnson was super inspirational. And then I used to go to Gary Bailey's motocross school. And when I started training down at that motocross school, I really got turned on to David Bailey. Like, so David Bailey was Gary Bailey's stepson. And he was a national champion, but he had already, so basically, if you guys follow, he got hurt. He basically got paralyzed. Super cool dude, still in a wheelchair, but amazing, smooth rider. So he was already hurt before I got into the sport. So when I got into it, Bailey was already out. Johnson was kind of dominating. But then as I got, like, hooked up in motocross school and started watching old school videos and started seeing David ride, I was really inspired by it. Like, he was so smooth and so sick back in the day. So big one for me was Rick Johnson and David Bailey. So Monroe saying Deegan, Twitch Deegan of Feist. I just remember that Woody CR. I just remember that Woody, that Woody CR250 ripping. Yep. So cool. Hey, it's cool to see. And everybody, I mean, all these names is not a surprise to see any of your guys' response. Cool to just see how all these guys have impacted all our lives. Because to be honest with you, like the dudes I mentioned were like people that were early, but every single person that's on this list has inspired me. There's not one person that I looked at on this list that I've been like, I've watched that guy ride and totally inspired me. So we're all on the same page. That's what's pretty cool. I mean, even like Metzger and Deegan, like guys that I came up with and rode with, I was inspired by all those dudes. Like, that was the coolest part about our crew, was everybody inspired each other and everybody motivated each other. And when one dude was doing something, you were like motivated to try to learn it. you're like, dude, Twitch is doing this now. Let me try to do this. Or Deegan just did this yesterday. Let's try to do this. And we were always just playing like catch up. Everybody was just trying to learn what everybody could do. So super, super fun. Good times. All right, so we're moving on here. Second question. All right, so who's your biggest influence outside of moto? So Brian kind of threw that in. I mean, it was a moto influence, and I don't know if that's your biggest influence, but it could be like someone who wasn't in motocross, but then had a big, big impact on your life. Who do you guys got? Drum roll. And it could be delayed. Let's see. Biggest inspiration. So Rob Grant saying his dad. I think that's an awesome answer. I think that's so cool that's the first thing that we seen was Rob saying his dad was the greatest influence. Because, dude, that's pretty cool. Because dads have such a important role in a kid's life. For the dad to have a great impact like that, it's awesome. I have an awesome dad. Me and my dad are like super, super tight. We're like best friends. So I could probably say the same thing about my dad. Grandparents, family members. Outside of moto, so basically I was Rob, Chris, saying his grandparents, Jeremy. Going outside of moto would be my old neighbor. That's cool. Had a CT70 first bike that I ripped. So that's really cool, dude. The neighbor just having an impact. See, that's what's cool. You know what I mean? Community. That's the thing. Like, you don't never know, like, the impact that you can have with the people just live in your area, right in your neighborhood. Dude, I was cruising. I was cutting my grass today when I got home. And I rolled over to Dangerous Dale. I'm like, dude, I'm a chit chatter. I catch you outside. I'm coming to talk to you. That's how it is in my neighborhood. If I see you, we're coming to chat. So I seen Dangerous Dale came home from work, and I'm on the zero turn cutting the grass, and I see him over there raking leaves. I'm like, I'm gonna just cruise over there. Turned off the mower, cruised over, talked to him. But that's what I'm saying. So it's all about, man. Be positive, connect with your neighbors, have a good impact. And then I turned around, was coming home, seeing my next door neighbors are selling their house, so they were cleaning up some stuff. So whipped it into their, trapped them for a second, talked their ear off. They probably see me coming, like, oh God, here he comes. Hide. He's going to talk our ear off for 15 minutes. All right. So we got, wait, this thing's not working. There we go. We got Patrick saying grandpa. I think that's awesome too. Jamie saying Stephen Vai. Am I saying that right? One of the nicest and most talented people I ever met. So Stephen Vai. That's cool. Brian saying my dad as well. He got me into moto as well. That's really cool. Nico, family and friends. Dude, the cool thing is like your answers are better than mine, dude. Because all you guys are like family, friends, neighbors, people that were like, that's really cool. And I would say, you know what my dad probably is, if I was to jump in, my dad probably has had because I'm just like, it's funny. I'm so much like my dad, even though we are different, but there's so much like, the older I get, I'm like, man, I'm getting like my dad. It's like, dang it, dude. Turn 40, you turn into your parents, right? But my dad's definitely had a huge influence on my life for sure. But I'm going to go outside the box. And I'm going to read all you guys' answers, though. I would say Bruce Lee. I was such a Bruce Lee fan growing up. Then I was so influenced by him. Read all of his books growing up. Watched all of his movies. I can almost recite them word for word growing up. I watched him so many times. But I was so inspired by him and just how dedicated and committed he was to his training. I grew up training in martial arts. Actually, I did it before I rode. And it was the only thing I didn't quit when I got in the racing. Stopped playing football, stopped playing baseball, didn't want to wrestle no more, didn't want to play soccer. Laid it all down. I was like, Dad, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to race. And Dad's like, cool, let's go racing. But I'm like, I don't want to quit karate. I want to stay in it. And I stayed with it all the way up until high school, and then I took a little break. But one of the things that I learned growing up as a martial artist and just being influenced by Bruce Lee is Bruce was always practice, repetition. And I learned that they teach that in like a dojo. If any of you guys grew up training like in a dojo or a karate school or any type of martial art, you will notice they do the same things over and over and over and over again every single night. You'll do your blocks, your stances, your kicks, your katas. It's always like repeat. It just feels like you're doing the same stuff for months, years, and all of a sudden you get a promotion, and then you just do the same stuff. Well, I took those things that I learned, I applied that to the way I trained in freestyle, and I would just and even as how I coach now and how I like to approach things even as a moto guy and just riding the track, like I love to just pick a corner and ride it over and over and over, or pick a section of the track and link one part together, or when I was a freestyle guy, just picking one trick and doing over and over and over. So a lot of that I picked up just from being influenced by Bruce Lee and being influenced just in the martial arts, and then applying that to how I trained as a moto guy and a freestyle guy. So pretty cool. But I got a tattoo of Bruce Lee on my shin, dude. I was like super fan, dude. Stan, I'm over here. I'm Stan the super fan. All right, so I want to read the rest of you guys' things real quick, and then I got a couple more questions. So Brian's saying probably my sister, my best friend. Hey, well, that's cool. Connie's super cool, dude. We hung out yesterday. We had a great time at the game. So definitely got a good family, good sister, good connection. We could tell that. Like, me and Mel could tell you guys are super close. Jason's saying my dad and my friends got me into racing cars. Yep. I like, this is the best. Dude, I think the coolest thing is I've probably seen Dad on here the most. That's sweet. Because that's how important dads are. And that's how big of an impact that fathers have on our lives. That's why I think it's so important for fathers to be in the lives of their children. B-Dub saying just placed another order. I think I saw it come in. I looked down and I saw Shopify pop up. So that was probably B-Dubsky. Thanks for the support, brother. All right, so Casey's saying casually late. All good. Biggest inspiration, money, is inspires me to make more and pay my bloody bills. Hey, it's all good, dude. Gotta be inspired. Let's see. So, by the way, off topic, but how was your first game? First game experience was awesome, dude. Like, seriously, so fun. I really enjoyed it. Like, looking forward to, like, you're like sitting there and you're like, first, you're like taking it all in. You're like, man, this is really cool. Maybe I should buy season tickets. That was like one of my thoughts. And then I'm like, maybe not. But I was like, yeah, maybe I should be like here every week. Be sweet. But no, good times. Good times. All right, so Bruce Lee playing ping pong with a nunchucks talent. Yeah. Flow like water. Karate Kid all the time. So funny. All right, so let's keep it. All right, so Eric D missed the question here. So the question was who influenced you outside of moto? And I really do appreciate. I really think it's cool that I saw Dad on there the most. That's sweet. Because then, like, I'm not a dad, but maybe someday when I am a dad, like, it'd be cool to have your kids say that. Like, who was your biggest impact on your life? And when they be like, hey, my dad was, like, when it's actually you, that'd be pretty sweet. All right, so moving on. All right, if you could do one freestyle trick, or learn one freestyle trick, what would it be? What would be your freestyle trick? If you could do any one, learn any one, do any one, could be upright, could be upside down. What do you got? I'm just curious. This is kind of cool. I like this question because it'd be kind of curious. Like, what do people want to learn? Like, because I want to teach freestyle. So what would people be interested in learning? Backflip. Brian, right off the bat. Of course. Why not? Nico and go to the 360. Of course. Some of the, like, backflip's really not super hard, but it's definitely riskier. To go through the learning process is riskier than a lot of the other tricks, but it's definitely way easier than 360. 360 is way harder. That's why there's not that many people doing it still. All right, so one-handed knack. That's a cool trick. So one-handed knack. And I don't even know I don't know if is it Key CMX or Casey? Anyway, I'm just popping you up so people can see it. So why didn't that come up, dude? All right, dude, something's not working here. All right. So the Moto Rock saying backflip with a upside down kiss of death. Yeah. So that's basically called a super flip. So we call it, so basically, or you call it a KOD flip, but it's real super flip or KOD flip. The big dogs, they're sick looking. That's a good one. Jason's saying want to be able to whip the bike practically backwards. That's a good one too. Yeah, I wish I could whip it better too. You see how good the guys whip it these days? You're like, dang, dude, my whips are kind of weak. And whips are so fun. Wait, when is it? Superman. So Brian's saying Superman. My thing's like locking up over here. Brian's saying Superman Seacraft. So there you go. I could teach you that one, dude. We could learn that. We could teach you that. We'll get the ramp set up. We'll do a ramp session here in the future. Start cutting out your seat, cut down, cut out your airbox. No, we won't mess up that pretty new bike you got. But dude, that one's just got to go through the process. But that one's another one. I think a lot of people can learn that through repetition. Come on, just got to keep trying. Tommy Shea said, I want to scrub like no other. Yeah, the scrub daddy's another good one. Clean whip. Jamie saying clean whip, big sick whip, backflip. So I think the whip won, dude. More people want to have sick whips than backflips or 360s. Which, hey, I'm right there with you, dude. There's nothing cool. Dude, this is the thing. There's riders out there who can't do any tricks or very minimal tricks. Or maybe not even none. Like, I'm going to say like Hansen. Hansen does zero tricks. I don't know any tricks that Hansen does. But, dude, Hansen is sick. And what can he do? He do turn up and a whip. He's got style, right? That's all he needs to do. He just can ride and look cool. That's sweet. Like even Bierman. I don't think Bierman does any tricks. And look how sick he looks. You know? Just big old whips, big old turn ups. It just shows so much bike skill and talent. Like when guys, like you get respect like this instantly. Like you could come out, I think you get more respect and faster when you come out and crank one. Cause like if you came out and like if let's just say someone went over a jump and did a big old turn up and someone came over and did a seat grab, I think the dude who did the big turn up would probably be like, that one was sicker. Cause it shows bike skills, like handling skills. Like tricks give respect. I'm not trying to say don't give respect, but I do think the whips do get like a little bit. That's what I've noticed. For me, it's just being in the freestyle world for so long. When you're out in the hills and someone just cranks one off, you're like, dude, that was sick. Rather than a little poke out, stab out a little seat grab or something. So, feeling all the whip stuff. All right, so I was reading some of your comments. You guys are killing me, dude. All right, so let's see. All right, let's see. So we can do one for every trick. All right, so here we go. We only got two more, and then we'll talk about that trick for a minute. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I sucked up all our time last week talking about tricks. And then we'll open it up. If you guys have a few questions for me, we'll wrap it up. All right, so what as far as moto goes, what is the toughest thing for you guys? As far as like if you're out riding for moto, and it don't even have to be like it could just be riding in general, whether if you're like in the trail riding, free riding. What is the thing that you're like, oh man, that's hard for me? Is it time in rhythm sections? Is it maybe riding sand, mud, getting good starts, whoops, ruts, corners, like corner speed? What is the thing that you're like, man, that one's hard for me. I want to improve. Like, what is the area? Maybe that's a good way to put it. So what is maybe like your area of riding that you would want to improve, or you're like, hey, this is kind of a little bit of a wrestle for me? And this is kind of cool too, just as far as just seeing where people are at. You know what I mean? As a coach, like what are people, what's hard for people, and what are people like, hey, I want to get better at this area as a rider. Brian here. He's saying big jumps. Yeah, that's a good place to improve for sure. Hitting big jumps, the funnest part. The funnest part of riding, in my opinion. All right, so Brian is saying following someone else's jacked up rut. Yeah, I got you, dude. People cut in some jacked up lines sometimes, and the motors or lines are all kinked. So we said being able to go. So this is the motor rock. Being able to go. Being able to go to the track because I have no one to ride with, so it can get sketchy if something happens. Yeah, that's a rule, dude. I'm gonna Here's the deal. I would recommend don't even do that, dude, because moto's too gnarly to ride by yourself. So always have a friend. Don't ride by yourself. Like, that was always a rule. None of us rode by ourselves. I always had to have someone at the house. If I was riding, I had to have someone come over to ride. If I was going out the hills, I'd never take off by yourself. You know what I mean? You always got to have a buddy with you. It's kind of like deer hunting, dude. Don't go into the woods all by yourself. You know, you fall out of a tree, something happened to you, and nobody knows you're back there. And a lot of times we're in these places our cell phone don't work. You know, you can't even call for help. So, yeah, be sure you have a bot. I know what you're talking about. When you want to ride, and it's nothing more frustrating than wanting to ride and you have no one to ride with. You're like, dude, I want to ride, and I can't get anybody to come over today, and you're like bummed because you're like, I can't ride by myself. That happened. Like, I had a track at my house for 20 years. That happened multiple times. I want to ride right now, and no one's coming over to the ride. And you're like, and you can't do it. I have a funny story about waiting for a friend. And this is just an example why you shouldn't do that. So basically, you guys remember the Flying Hawaiian, Clifford out of Dante? So basically, when I first bought I lived in a neighborhood house when I lived in California for a little while. And I saved up my money, and I bought that house in Temecula with the land, and I built Freestyle Park. So the very first day I was going to ride, I called Clifford. He's like, hey, I'm on my way over. I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm going to wait for you. So I'm waiting for him, and I'm like, man, what's taking him so long? I'm like, I'll just gear up. And then I gear up, and then I'm like doing some like wheelies around the yard, just kind of like, I'm like, dude, where is he? So then I'm like, well, I'll just go out back and like test run the ramp. And I've never jumped the ramp before. And I wasn't going to jump it until he got there. I was like, I'm not going to hit it the first time with nobody here. So I'm waiting for him to come, and I'm taking runs at the ramp. And I watered the run-in, so the run-in's slick. My neighbor lived across the street. His name was Mike Hickson, coolest neighbor in the world. He basically heard me fire up my bike, and we had met briefly a couple times, like when I was moving in, but we didn't have the relationship like we have now after living there for so long. So we didn't really talk yet. But he heard me. So he basically knew, like, hey, this dude's, supposedly a pro. He's in the metal militia. This guy's firing off his bike. He built this big jump out back. I'm going to watch him. So he had his house, and right next to it, he had his office. So he heard me fire my bike. He walked up into the office. It was a 2-story building, and he's kind of sitting out on this little deck, and he's kind of like watching me take. And I didn't know this, obviously. I'm out in the backyard taking runs, but he's watching me like, oh, I'm going to watch this dude, do what I've heard this dude's good. Let's check him out. Luckily, he was watching me. I'm waiting for Clifford, and I'm getting like, dude, where's he at? I didn't even jump the ramp. I just decided to like test run the jump and jump off the side of the ramp. So I kind of like went up the ramp like 3 to 4 feet and jumped off the edge. Well, I did it once, turned around and went to do it again. And remember I said I had watered the run-in? Well, the mud kind of like packed up on my tire, and I came in a little hot. And as I went to carve off the ramp, the rear end of the bike slid up the ramp like this, and then it high-sided off, like ejected me into like a 180 so fast. I landed on my back, blew the wind out of me, broke my ribs. First day ever riding. This is the intro to my brand new Freestyle Park. Didn't even jump the jump. Boom. And I'm like, blows the wind out of me. And I'm like laying on the ground all by myself, and there's no one around. And I'm going, when you blow, like collapse your lung, you're like, ooh, and you're just trying to get air in. It was one of those ones. It was gnarly. But that's the reason you should ride by yourself, dude. But luckily, the neighbor, Mike, happened to be up looking over. He saw me crash. He runs across the street, and dude, like, I didn't go in the ambulance, but dude helped me to my feet, like, and dude ended up going to the hospital because I felt like I honestly thought I broke my back at first because I broke my ribs on the back side of so I didn't break them in the front, I broke them on the back. So when I went to roll over, I had so much sharp pain, I'm thinking like, dude, I broke my back. I can't believe I broke my back. So obviously went to the hospital, got checked out. Turned out that I only had broken ribs. But dude, if Mike wasn't there, I would have been stuck out on my track. And this was an afternoon. I could have been stuck out there all night till dark because I couldn't get up, dude. I thought I broke my back. So don't go ride by yourself. That was kind of like my warning, like, okay, don't ever be out here ever again. All right. So Getting back to where we were. Where were we? I'm jibber jabbering. Where were we? We were on the toughest part of riding. All right, so let me scroll back up because I got sidetracked on that. On the don't ride by yourself. But that is important. That's all I want to make a point, dude. Don't do it. Too sketchy. All right, so riding ruts. For me, going slow. Just want to rip. Jeremy's saying he wants to go fast. Chris P said riding ruts. That's super common, dude. I feel like I get a lot of guys come through the school that are always like, hey, man, I'm struggling with ruts. Ruts are so hard. So that's very common for people to get comfortable in ruts. Right-handed turns in sand eat me up. So right-handed turns in sand. You know what could be like, because think about this. And some people say like the left-handed is easier than the right. And the reason why, like think about it, when you go into a right-handed turn, you have to get off the rear brake because you put that leg out for braking. So a lot of times people feel more comfortable going left because they can ride the brake in longer. And when you're going right, you got to get your foot out for balance. So, but with sand, you really can back off the back brake quite a bit in the sand because your bike slows down so much. I mean, you can definitely back off the front brake, but you are light on the brakes in sand. But right-handed turns over left-handed turns. I have heard, that's not new. I've heard that, so that's common. Getting loose in the first few minutes. Yeah, let it out, brother. That's Chris there. Oh, so Jamie has asthma. So dialing in the breathing. Yeah, so that'd be tough. I think that for sure. Having asthma out there. Moto is definitely a cardio sport. So having trouble breathing would be tough. Brian say hitting the true doubles and triples. And that takes time. You know, this is common for other guys. Just building confidence up to jumping big doubles and triples. Takes time. You just got to keep jumping all the other stuff enough till you get so bored of it. You're finally like just ready to hit something bigger. And then once you jump a couple big ones and start timing them, your confidence just goes, and then you'll just start eyeing stuff up. I'm like, oh, I got that. Just send it. But just jump everything else. Jump as much as you can. Get comfortable. Get your timing on point, because that's normally what happens when people go down on doubles and triples is they time it wrong. So you want to get your timing so where you can just look at stuff and know right here, all right, even if there's small stuff, as long as you come out, hit it perfect, and you start getting your timing down, then you'll start looking at bigger stuff and you're like, okay. For me, it's always easier if I can see where I'm going. If I can see the landing, I could look at something like, okay, I know how fast I got to get, and I can kind of feel it, know how. But when it's blind, then it's always harder because you're like, okay, can't really see where I'm going. All right, well, how big is this? So then you kind of have to do like the cruise off of it. And if it's a double, like, all right, how far in the middle did I land and how much gas? And then kind of do the judging. All right, well, I kind of landed half. It's a tabletop and you go halfway with cruising. Then you know, like, all right, I'm going to hit it a little bit harder. And you deck it, or 3/4 it. You're like, okay, just a little bit faster. It's like, that's why I say repetition. The more times, and it's different for all of us because all of our bikes are different. Like our gearing's different, 450 versus a 250, how big you are of a dude versus, you got a light dude on the bike. So everybody's going to have, you got to learn your bike, you got to learn your gearing, you got to learn all that. Timing. I feel like people always say, hey, can you teach me timing? Like the best way to teach you timing is to build like a small, easy rhythm section and just ride rhythms. Time everything perfect over and over and go through it and try to land perfect. Try not to tag it. Try not to go long. A nice supercross section will get your timing on point real fast. You practice that over and over. You learn. You can't really like teach timing. You almost have to like build something simple enough that you feel safe in, or find a section that's safe and ride it over and over that you're just constantly timing. Like for Brian, this, you know what, dude, this would actually probably help you a lot because you're wanting to step up the doubles and triples. Dude, if you went out on that, I don't know how much time you've ever spent out there, but we have at Midwest Extreme Park, we have that straight rhythm, and it's probably maybe it could be a little intimidating for you because guys get a little more intimidated on Supercross stuff. But if you're able to even just double through that whole lane, just perfect all the way through, super consistent, that will start to build up your timing. And the better timing you got, you can just start to feel stuff, look at stuff, and you just hit it almost in the ballpark first time. But that little rhythm section at Midwest Extreme would be perfect little spot to just work on timing. And it's not super gnarly. And then if you want to upgrade from Dublin, there's a couple parts of it you can triple and stuff out there. So, all right, so just want to hit it. So we say whoops. So Patrick's saying whoops. I love whoops. Great place to improve. Nico, just hit a line of Supercross track would be a dream. I love Supercross, dude. So fun. So Jay say need to work on conditioning. I was wondering if anyone's going to say that. This is one for all of us. Conditioning, dude. For sure. That's one of the hardest parts about moto. Like, if you can be the fastest dude out there, but if you can't last, you can't win. Especially in the pros, you know? Even in the amateur ranks these days. You get tired, everybody passes you because you got to slow down. Rob's saying whoops. Tommy Shane said need to practice hole shots. Hole shots into a freestyle jump. Without a buddy. Oh, Jeremy saying stick to hear old school stories. I know they're funny. I probably got a gazillion old school stories of goofy things that have happened through the years. But it's like, hey, here's the new pro just moved into town. Belly flops off the ramp first day. Didn't even jump the ramp either. Just takes a run at it. He's down. Broken back. Or broken ribs. Oh, we're getting a little show. We got Mike here. Shout out from Jersey. What up, DK? What up, everybody? Good. All right, so riding sand. That's another one. Sand's hard, dude. So that is sand is definitely harder to ride for sure. But here's the deal: if you can learn to ride the sand, you can ride everything. That was kind of cool. I guess I got lucky because Jersey was sandy, so I got to ride a bunch of sand growing up. But I don't ride it that much now anyway, or much more. So then, like, you ever not ride sand for a while and then you go back and get in sand? You feel like a squid at first. You're like, dude, I feel like a goon. You're like, what, dude? You got to figure it out. You're like, whoa. Over braking. You come in and grab too much front brake. The front end knife's going into the corner. You're like, what? But sand is a awesome place to build technique. All right, so last one here. This will be the last question, and then I'm gonna jump in. Man, I'm running out of time. All right, so last one. So what's your favorite part? Favorite part about riding? Favorite part about riding? So what do you love, or what do you love most? What do you love most about riding? What's your favorite part of riding? I know my answer. I guess I didn't answer all these for you guys, but that's fine because we're already down to the 15-minute mark, and I want to talk about that trick briefly, and then just I don't know if we'll have time for Q&A tonight. Shoot, I might suck up all the last time talking about that little FMX trip. All right, jumping. So me and Joe Bell are on the same page. That jumping is definitely one of my favorite parts of riding. I love hitting the gas. It feels good, huh? Just cranking it. Yep, one-on-one, getting away from it all. Say, hey, just be. So this is it. Chris P hit. This was really my first answer. Chris P hit it on the head. Just being with the boys, and that's what I was gonna say. My first answer is community, and my second one is jumping. And the reason I want to say community, because, dude, my best friends are all moto dudes. Like, I built the tightest relationships around dirt bikes. And I'm like, think about all the people that you met, all the people that, like, through the years. Like, you know, most of us probably doing this for most of our lives. And, man, you think about all the people that came in your life because of a dirt bike, all the, like, the memories that you have from dirt bikes, all the different places it's taken you. It's just like community is that's what I love about moto. It's a cool the moto community is cool, and I think it is a family sport. You know, you see families at the track, mom, dad, the kids. So it's really cool. It's a family deal. It's community. And like I said, my closest friends are all moto dudes. And that's what brought us together. Think about it. Like, the reason we're friends is because we all rode dirt bikes. We ride dirt bikes. Come on. But that's the reason why we're friends. It's like the reason why, like, I met Brian and I hang out with Brian is because we ride dirt bikes. That's what we do. That's what we do. We ride dirt bikes. Spark plugs and pistons forever, baby. That's how we do it. But it's true, though. So I love that. I'm glad that got put up there because that was mine. And then jumping's my next one. That's probably why I made a living as a freestyle dude. I always wanted to jump. All right, so Jason's saying, best part, yep, right here. Jason was on the same one. Being with friends and family, having a good time. I agree 100%, dude. It's so good. Riding, yep, progress with the friends. Dude, that's a cool one there. Nico said, riding and progress. Think about that. That, seriously, is that not what keeps us going through the years? Is the progression, like, as you improve? Like, how fun is it when you're getting better? Like, when, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you're doing a corner better, you're getting the jumps better, you learn a new trick. Like, dude, motivates the crap out of you to keep going. It's probably why you can do it for 40 years and still be pumped on it, because you never can stop learning. There's always room to grow and to get better. So that's a good one there. Being at the track with family and friends, yeah. So, dude, most of you, we're all, that's what I'm like. We're all on the same page, man. That's why we get along, hang out every Monday night. Yeah, me and myself and my son. Yeah, I know. It's just crazy if you think about what dirt bikes is like. It brings, like, because I look at it like, because I'm like, man, it's had so much joy in my life, but then at the same time it's brought me a lot of pain at times too. You're like, it's like the love-hate. You're like, I love you so much, but then other times you're like, God, it will spank you sometimes. The feeling of freedom. So this is Mike from Jersey. The feeling of freedom, just in the zone. That's what I love. And that's, dude, I feel like that's that throttle therapy, dude, right? When you're in the zone where nothing else is on your mind. That's the coolest part about moto. You can get out on the track or just into your freestyle session, whatever you're doing, and everything else that's going on in the world no longer matters, and you can get into the zone. It is. It's peaceful. It is. It's like a release. It's refreshing. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can just get on my bike and like this week I went to the track on Saturday and I had a private for 2 hours. So I got there at 12, taught till 2, and then I went out and just rode two little short motos, and that's all I needed. I was like, dude, I had fun, got on my bike, cranked out a couple laps. I'm good. Like, just a little fix, right? It's like a drug, dude. It's crazy, huh? Just give me a little fix. Let me jump a couple jumps, rip a couple burns, wheelie down the start. I felt good. All right, I'm cool. Let me go home and chill. Like, and I've been doing, that's what's funny. Like, I've been doing this since I was 8. That's a funny thing. I laugh about something. I'll think about it. I'm still doing exactly the same thing as I did when I was a little kid. Ain't much changed. Having fun on dirt bikes. That's right, baby. All right. I'm better moving on up here. Spark plugs and pit. Dude, that's the shirt I got on, dude. It doesn't say that, but come on, V-Dubsky. This is us right here. We ride dirt bikes. Spark plugs and pistons for life, baby. Come on. That's how we do it. All right, I better, we got 10 minutes. All right, 10 minutes. Might not do the Q&A tonight, but it's all good. We'll be back next week. All right, so let's talk about this trick real quick, and I'm going to have to pin it because I got 2 tricks on here, and I got the candy bar, which is super basic. I got to pull up this photo I found, dude. Look at this photo of Twitch doing this trick. This is awesome. I found it just online. I was dying. It's a little blurry because I had to blow it up. But, dude, so this is the candy bar. And it's basically, it's just a one-legger over your handlebar. But everyone in freestyle learned this trick. So this was basically like the first, because last week I think we talked about Shaolin, right? We all learned this before we did a Shaolin. No one did a Shaolin or a bar hop before they did. They did candy bar first. So it was like basically like if you're going to learn a can or a double can, you learn the can first, and then you learn the double can. And then, we talked about double knacks last week. You learned a knack, then you learned a double knack. It was almost like you learned the can, then you did a bar hop, which is basically a 2-footed candy bar. You know what I mean? You stuck both feet together and put them through the bars versus 1 foot. So basically, this trick is really, honestly, if you're tall and lanky like Twitch and me, I think it comes a little bit easier because Deacon could never do these. He couldn't get his feet through the bars. And I think it's because you're a shorter guy. It's harder because you're shorter, so you have a tendency, you don't have that length to kind of get your foot up over the handlebars as easy. So a little bit harder for some of the shorter guys. But talked about it last week, just getting rid of the bar pad or shaving it way down, getting the cable zip tied out of your way because you will hook your foot on your cable. And I've seen dudes kick their throttle cable and a throttle stick wide open because they kick the cable wide. So make sure you get those cables out the way. And dude, this is like you can basically jump the jump and put your foot on the crossbar or the crossbar pad. I didn't use one. I recommend just shaving your crossbar pad down real small, but just jump. Lift your foot, put your knee, look where Twitch's knee is. You go knee to chest, because see how his foot's out? If you try to just pick your foot up and kick it straight out, you'll kick the handlebar or the triple clamp, top part of where the bars mount. So you have to pick your leg up and put your knee to your chest so you can put your foot out in front of you. So pick it up, and literally when you're trying to learn it, because you're scared to put it over in the beginning, you're like, oh, I'm scared I'm going to get it caught. So you just pick it up and put it like touch it on the cross, like, okay, back down. Everything's a small baby step in, work your way in, work your way up. Don't just go for the full extension the first time and panic because you don't know the feeling yet. Just baby step it. Put it on the handlebar, put it back. Jump up, put it on, put it back. Put it on, put it back. Then go, just put your heel out past the front number plate. Put your foot back. Jump, heel past the front number plate. And now you're clearing the bar. And once you start clearing the bar, you're like, okay. And then you go from just a heel having passed to boom, boom. And you just start to extend it. This one's really not that hard of a trick. It's super old school, but everybody that I can remember learned this trick in freestyle. And like I said before, if I was to teach freestyle, I would start with the base. Actually, just real quick, I had a private on, what day was it? Thursday. Or no, it was Friday. It was the day before that we went to Midwest Extreme. I had a private, and the Joe is the guy I was working with. He wanted to work on jumps all day. He's like, dude, I want to spend the whole 3 hours on jumps. Let's just do jumps. I said, perfect. So we worked on jumps all day. By the end of the day, he's like, dude, I want to learn a heel clicker. But here's the deal. Like, we didn't really have the right jump for the heel clicker. So I was kind of like, these jumps are really built for that. But at the end of the day, like, can you do a no-footer? He's like, no, I've never done it. Well, dude, that's where we got to start. You have to start. Like, can't do a heel clicker unless you can do a no-footer, because that's the intro of a heel clicker. You got to be able to do a no-footer. So we started there. So that's how I would teach. Like, get comfortable getting your feet off back to the pace, getting your feet off back to the pace, hands off to the bars. Know where your bars are. So when you go like this and you come back, you're grabbing the bars in the right spot. If you panic grab and hit your front brake, you ever jump and hit your front brake? I've seen guys do it in freestyle. They panic, try to get back to the bars too fast, and they grab the front brake, locks up the front tire, throws them off balance, they crash. So you got to know how to get to and from places. Start there. So we had Joe just doing wood footers. He couldn't get to the no footers. A little wasn't comfortable, ready for the no-footer yet, but he was doing big one-footers, and that's sometimes where you got to start. Let me just get comfortable getting left leg off. Let me get comfortable getting right leg off. Okay, let me try 2. And the same thing I told him, like, dude, you don't need to go full straddle. Just go 2 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, and you just work them out. It's the same thing with the candy bar. You get the heel over, and then just slowly, no one just went boom and did a big old candy bar. Every single one of us started tapping the front, putting our foot on the handlebar, and then the heel over, and then it slowly worked out. And then same thing, but when you're going back, what you want to do is don't push, don't swing. Can you guys see my little hand on this? I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyway, I'm basically pointing to what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see it. But basically, don't swing your foot back down because you'll catch the number plate or the bar. Bring your knee to your chest. So you bring your knee to the chest, you kick out. Bring your knee back to the chest, back to the pegs. Don't try to kick out and then swing your feet back through the bars when you're doing a candy bar. It's more, when you start doing a Shaolin, because you're jumping, you can almost clear the bars. And once you clear, you can swing through. Talked about a little bit of that last week. But for this trick, go get that knee to your chest. So it's keeping your foot up way above the bar. So basically, if you would look at this photo, Twitch would basically take his knee, bring it straight to his shoulder. And that's going to keep that foot elevated and then put the foot down. Don't bend at the knee is what I'm saying, and kind of like hinge your foot back to the pegs. Catch it. And when you catch your foot, dude, you'll get scared. And you can land and ride it out, but it is sketchy. I've seen people crash. I've seen people get out of it and ride it out with their foot stuck up there. But here's the deal. You learn this trick, and you can basically go right from this thing to a saran wrap. And obviously, you can't really I didn't really have a picture of a saran wrap, but a saran wrap was basically doing a candy bar. And once you did a candy bar and you put your foot through, you'd basically take your hand off. So the same hand that the foot was. So if you got your right foot out, you would take your right hand off and you would wrap your foot around the bar. So instead of bringing it back through the bars, you go forward and then wrap it around, and it goes under your hand. Now this one, there's no, this one's a commitment one. So this one, that's why this one's you're going to get nervous if you're trying to learn this one, because you really can't baby step it, because you got to take off your hand and swing your thing. But here's a little tip that makes it a little bit easier. I'll give you 2 tips, because you got to commit, because you're like, okay, I'm doing this around. It means I got to take my hand off and wrap my leg around. There's no in between, right? True. But you can wrap your hand around so you could leave your hand. When you get comfortable, you'll stick your foot out, take your hand off, and swing your leg, and it's no worries. But when you're learning it, you could literally put your foot through, swing your leg, let your leg almost as soon as it touches your hand, you can then remove your hand, and your leg will kind of push. You can do it that way, but remember to take off your hand. I've seen people do the leg movement and not release the hand and get tangled in their bars. So you gotta, but that's what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like jump, foot through, swing the leg, let it touch the arm, release the arm, let the leg come down. Another thing you can do is you can cheat it. So if your bars are straight like this, you can turn. So if I'm putting my right leg through and I'm taking my right hand off, think about if I was to turn the bars to the right. What's that doing? It's putting the bar closer to my body. So now I don't have to swing my leg out around the bar as much. So you don't catch because what could happen is when you're swinging it around, you catch the inside of your knee or your boot on your side of your handlebar, and it causes people to crash. So you can cheat it by if you turn your bar a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier. So you would see guys like go jump the jump, do a candy bar, turn the bars, swing their leg, and then they throw their hand back and lock in. So super old school trick, but one of the ones that kind of just getting your trick list to just get comfortable moving your hands and feet on the bike and around the bike. And then from there, that guys went into the double. Metz came up with the double saran wrap, which was a Metz, when you basically did a bar hop and then took off both hands and swung out. So basically, you would go from learning a candy bar to learning a bar hop, and then learning a saran wrap to learning a double saran. So every trick kind of builds on itself. You kind of start with the one, and then it steps into another one. Then you learn this. So you learn this side, then you do both sides. Every single dude learned. That's how freestyle came. You learned seat grab, then you learned a one-handed seat grab. Then you went to a double grab. Then you went to a double grab indie. Seat grab to one-handed grab to double grab to seat grab indie to double grab indie to can to double can indie, double neck indie. Everything was it was always 1 2. So you can just kind of start. That's what I'm saying. Start with this, and then you can go into your bar hop. You can go from a bar hop to a Shaolin. You could go from this to a candy bar. You could go this to a bar hop to a Metz. And you can just build on it. And then guys even went bar hop. Adam Jones did it, and he did a no-handed bar hop. Put your hands or feet through, and then boop, take off your hands. So, all right, guys, that was fun. Love talking about tricks. Super fun to do. Shout out to Twitch here for the sick pick. I should send him this tonight. But hey, bro, killing it on Moto Monday with your trick list. Your candy bars, dude. But hey, guys, that was fun. Thanks again for hanging out here every Monday here on Moto Monday. If you ain't following us on Instagram, be sure to follow us at Ronnie Faisst. If you had not subscribed to the channel and you like what we do here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button. Give us some love. And we'll be back for the next and the last episode of the fall. And we'll be back January 3rd. So next weekend, remember, next weekend is the last one before our break. And then we'll be back January 3rd. So thanks again, everybody. And I will see you next week. Ride safe. God bless. And much love. Peace out.